All right, everybody, welcome to Full Time Devils. My name is Stephen Howson, joined by Jay, and we are going to call this a preview, but in reality, you know what happened in the last one? Was it Newcastle one?
Yeah.
We had like an hour of just utter wibble, so we'll probably do about 45 minutes of utter wibble, talk about Bournemouth briefly, give our starting 11s and a score prediction, and we'll call it a day. So how's that sound?
I think we'll have 45 minutes talking about Marcus Rashford's free kick.
High five.
maybe 15 minutes to talk about Brandon Williams, and then we'll mention
give him a tip millions and bounce.
Yeah, then we'll do
so,
that.
We saw Manchester United absolutely bury Frank Lampard's media darlings, should we say, at the moment. 6-1 on aggregate. It's not very good for him, is it?
No, struggling, isn't he, old Frank?
Yeah, I mean, I think questions need to be asked.
Yeah. Is he really all that good, or has he just got
Is the honeymoon period over?
If he hadn't scored that goal, would he even have the job?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if he hadn't scored that goal in a losing Champions League final.
It's not bad, is
it? Marcus Rashford. Happy birthday, Marcus, as well. I'm not sure when this goes out, but...
Well, yeah, no, it will go out today, yeah, so happy birthday.
Not a bad way to celebrate your birthday. As he said last night, getting 3 points in the cup.
Bless him.
Fuck's sake, Marcus.
But you know what? It makes me laugh because it's like, I saw you having a rare Twitter argument with someone, and it was like, yeah, but like, he's 22, he's not. He wasn't at the time, but now he's 22, and it's like, even now his record, he's still shit hot. If you look at it, his goal ratio is good, and the amount of goals he scored.
Compare him to, Jay. They don't compare him to Welbeck. They don't compare him to Finger. They're comparing him to Ronaldo and Aguero and Shearer.
Yeah, but even though, obviously their career totals and their career ratios are a lot better. But as me and you have discussed many times, up until their 22nd, 23rd birthdays, he's got the better record. There's only Owen, who was a bit of an anomaly.
And Rooney's record's a lot better, but Rooney played a lot more minutes.
Yeah.
Rashford's got a lot of appearances, but a lot of them have been only an hour, or they've come on after an hour. And if you look at per minute, like Rooney and Rashford's goals per minute is eerily similar, and you think, well, is he going to have a career like Rooney? Jesus Christ, if he does, we're in for a treat. And that's all you can say. Let's see what happens with the guy. Let's see what happens.
We've said it many times, haven't we? We've said, like, so far, so good sort of thing. He's going to come to the age where maybe this season is probably that season where we need to step it up a bit. Yeah. We need to see him hitting not just double figures, not 10 or 11, but getting closer, if not hitting 20 goals.
Yeah, 20 would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I think 15 would be a good target for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, 20 goals is where he needs to be. Him and Tony Marshall have not hit 20 goals previously, so the pair of them need to go and hit 20 goals. And we was looking at that at the start of the season going, hey, I know you've never done it, either of you. And we've just sold a guy that's done 34 previously, not at United, but at Arsenal he did 34 in a season. Lukaku, that fella that did 27 for us, he's gone as well. So if you two could just triple out your numbers and we'll be fine.
After the first Chelsea game, I was predicting that. I was like, yeah, this is it. Don't worry, they'll get 50 goals between them. It's gonna be great. And then Tony got injured, didn't he? And then Marcus had not a bit of a slump, but up and down spell. But
I think a lot of that was down to and he's not been perfect, and there's a lot of room for improvement, and there's probably some decision making, some 1v1 stuff that I would like to see him improve on. But I think he's got the ability to improve on and the time to improve on it. I think Marcus suffered by being the one reliable goal scorer, and a lot of people are like, he's not even reliable. That's fair enough. But he was the one reliable senior goal scorer at 21 in a team that was struggling to create chances. He's going to bear the brunt of what was happening. Tony Marshall comes back. Now a defence has to worry about two senior goal scorers, and invariably space starts to appear. Manchester City at the moment have got the totally wonderful problem of, right, you keep De Bruyne quiet, I'll sort Aguero. Cool. Who's got Sterling? I forgot about him.
No, it just reminds me of United in the heyday, doesn't it? Yeah. You've got Tevez, right, I'll sort Tevez. Right, I'll get Rooney. Right. Oh, don't worry about Ronaldo then. Yeah, we'll just leave him to it. Yeah, or Scott. It's like, I mean,
our gigs.
Yeah, and we haven't got that, have we? We haven't. You're right, because you look at it. You've had Marcus, you've had Mason, who's only just been in and out of the team anyway. Jesse's been injured. I mean, who else has been there waiting in with goals? Really, we've had like ones and twos.
McTominay's got a couple on him.
Yeah, and he's like, what is he, our third top scorer or something stupid? That's what I mean. It's like, he has, as you said, had to bear the brunt of it, and you know, if you're a defender and you're an opposing team to United, you're going to think, right, just keep Marcus Rashford quiet. And they're struggling. Dan James, of course, as well, who stepped up. But again, he had that sort of purple patch, didn't begin the season. He's still playing well, just not scoring. So, yeah, I do feel for him. And we've mentioned many times, he's played when he's been injured. He's put his body on the line. And that's the one thing. I get the criticism that you've alluded to about him not taking his chances, about him not probably being that out-and-out striker that we've needed. But one thing I don't understand is this thing about him not putting the effort in or anything about his attitude.
It's outrageous, that.
Right, that's the one stick you can't beat him with, because he gives it all. He plays when he's injured. He's absolutely red through and through. He's as big a United fan as anyone you can mention. So that's not the criticism we should be aiming at him. So, yeah. And once he's added worldy free kicks to his game, he's got everything.
Yeah, that free kick was outrageous. PG rated.
I knew he was going to score that.
Well, I knew he was going to score it because we was on a stream and the comments came in first.
Oh, mate. That's ideal, that.
So I had no reaction to it, because I was kind of just a bit gutted, really, that I didn't get an authentic
that's
reaction.
The thing, you know, you got to try and hide it.
Absolutely robbed me. Well, the reason I was looking on the comments and someone had gone, Chelsea have took the lead, and I was like, only one person had mentioned it, and I was like, let me just go and check Twitter. And then I went on Twitter, and I can't remember who it was. Someone had just put, a big United fan had just put, wow. And I was like, oh shit, what's happened? And then the next one was like Rashford, and then shitloads of exclamation marks. And I was like,
yeah, mine was something similar. But mine wasn't quick because I'd gone home to watch it. I was going to watch it. And my missus made the mistake of leaning on me just as he steps up to take the free kick. And to be fair, 99 times out of 100 wouldn't have been an issue. But she went flying. I was like, It was mint. It was like, what amazed me about it was, at first, when it flew in, I thought, as it took a deflection, because it went up and down so quickly, the way it moved. Yeah, I thought, I didn't care if it had, but it actually hadn't. It just hit it perfectly.
So on the telly before on Sky Sports was saying that the League Cup balls are different to the Premier League balls, and they do float differently in the air.
He said that, didn't he, after the game, Marcus? He said, yeah, he was quite humble about it. He wasn't like, just minute.
Fucking top lad.
Top art. He just said, oh yeah, it's the ball and stuff like that. And I was like, fair play to him, because he could have quite easily come out like Bertie Big Spuds and said, yeah, and what? Why did you ever doubt me?
Where's them disabled kids now, eh?
Mate.
That was such a horrendous joke quote, because so many people fell for it, because you can half see Roy Keane coming out and saying,
yeah, there's a few. There's like the one with Scholes in the Hacienda. Is that another one? Yeah, but again, it sort of rings a bit true, doesn't it? You think, oh yeah, I can imagine him saying something like that, and then you get to the point where you don't care if it's true or not. And the thing with Rashford was, it bothered me a little bit, because it was like he was the last player that should have been getting all the stick, and yet he was the one that was getting it all off so many different people.
It was a weird thing that started, that people was really just hammering all English players are shit, and you're like, well, evidently not, because Wan-Bissaka's been class.
Yeah.
Aaron Maguire been more than above average, I would say.
Yeah,
He probably should have done better with the goal last night, but he's been a good buy. Dan James has been great for us. I know he's not English, but British.
Yeah,
that's the Brexit FC thing that we keep getting tarnished with. Scott McTominay, he might play for Scotland, but for motherfuckers English, from like Morecambe or something in there.
Yeah, it's the old thing, you know.
I can play for them. And then obviously Marcus Rashford. Jesse's not been great. Probably deserves some of the stick that he's got. Ashley Young, I mean, I can't believe anyone would give him any shit, because he's captain, leader, legend.
Exactly.
But there's players in the team that's not pulling the socks up, but to just tarnish everybody and be like, it's all that nationality, like, Jesus, man.
It's like just nonsensical statements. Like, they only get in the team because they're English. Like, Marcus Rashford gets in that team because if he didn't, we'd have no attackers.
Yeah, what we do playing 10 men.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be tough for us today, because we've elected to only play 10 out of 11.
It's like, what are you on about? And because it does become fashionable, and then the statements get more and more ridiculous. It goes from
the guy Trashford.
Yeah, Trashford and Rashbeck and all this nonsense, and it goes from like he's got potential to he's not good enough to he's the worst player I've ever seen. That was one statement. And I see things like, highlighting things that aren't even that bad, like him running with the ball. This shows how bad he is. And I'm like,
a lot of people picked up on him running into space at the end of the
Partizan game.
Yeah.
I saw that.
91st minute.
Yeah, and I saw some guys saying this is why it shows how poor he is. And I'm like,
that ball's on his left foot. Dan James is in a good spot.
Yeah.
Dan James has done his job, by the way, by taking defenders away. That's literally what runners off the ball do, where people go, just run around. You're saying he just runs around? No, actually, sometimes running around really fucking helps everyone.
Yeah.
Go watch Manchester City and just see how many of them dickheads run around without the ball. It's actually really fucking interesting to watch. Marcus, if he attempted a ball with his left foot there, which is not as good as his right, there's no excuse for that. Well, sometimes it's fucking true. You know? Some players are not as good.
Am I misremembering? But Leicester under Jose, when Maguire scored the equaliser, didn't a similar situation happen where Marcus lost it?
Can't remember.
I think he did.
But you had stuff like your Fellaini making an error on the edge of the box against Everton.
Yeah.
Game management is important, and there's nothing wrong with running into the channel and running into space and running into the corner. Fucking 91st minute
and keeping possession.
Yeah.
Well, that's my point. I was going back to Leicester. I'm pretty sure I did. If I'm wrong, forgive me, but I'm pretty sure that Marcus lost it sort of in the 92nd minute.
It's not doing a Cruyff turn in your own half in the new camp, is it?
But the point is, he's learned from that. Hasn't tried to cross it or shoot or just kept it, give it to someone else, right? We've kept possession. We're at the business end of the pitch. Happy days. Again, if you want to have a go at Marcus Rashford, pick something out. Have a go at his, a shot that he's had that's terrible or whatever. I mean, don't be picking it out for keeping possession in the 91st minute in a European Cup game.
That you won.
Yeah, a Europa League game.
You won because of the things he did to do that.
Just what I mean, but it sort of becomes fashionable, doesn't it? And if you say it, no one really criticises you for saying it. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, do you know what I mean? Whereas someone like yourself or myself say, oh, Rashford's great, or we love him, or, it's give him time, whatever. Oh, he's
fucking local.
Manchester. Really? Come on. Phil Foden's from Manchester.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
Stop put.
I get it's like when people say, let's people say, you're like Jessica's from Manchester.
Warrington.
He's from Warrington.
He did grow up next door. Brendan, who I do my MMA podcast with, Marcus and Jesse, literally grew up next to each other, like next door, and then just over the road.
Really?
Yeah. How mad's that?
Imagine you can have 2 Ballon d'Or winners that lived on the same street. How mad is that?
I mean, Brendan's going to win a Ballon d'Or.
Well, you never know.
Supposedly he's a good player as well.
Decent player. So there you go. You don't never say never.
The lads have said he was a fucking good player and he probably should have pursued it, but he was like, I like punching people in the face. Yeah, I think that whole he's just from Manchester. We've had some shit that's come from Manchester.
Listen, I wasted enough years sticking up for Danny Welbeck. I'm not going to do it just sticking up for someone just because they're from Manchester. You've got to show me more than that. And Marcus has done, and I don't get it. And plus, the guy scored a winner at the Etihad in the derby. He scored against the Scousers. He scored winners against Arsenal. He scored a winner at Spurs. He scored winners at Chelsea.
He scored 5 goals against Chelsea.
Yeah. He's like the opposite of Lukaku, where Lukaku just goes about everyone except the top 6.
Got shit for not scoring against the top 6. Marcus gets shit because he only scores against the top 6. It's only because they leave space.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if the Scousers had a homegrown striker who scored the winner or scored against United? You would never end of it. Imagine if City had a Mancunian who scored the winner in the derby.
Imagine if City had a player.
Yeah, he was actually Mancunian who came through the ranks and did anything.
Got played.
And
especially when he's worth 500 million.
Yeah, it's better than Messi. Anyway.
Why don't no one pull up Pep on some of the utter fucking wibble he comes out with?
Mate, I've been in his press conferences, right, and it's hard work sometimes.
Can't you just laugh? Because you're not actually saying anything, but as he says, you give me a Pep statement.
I'm so proud of my players.
Can you just throw one of them out from the back of the room? Oh, when he goes, give me the Phil Foden's worth 500 million. I won't sell him. He's better than Messi.
Phil Foden, I've worked with Messi, and Phil Foden's the best player I've ever worked with.
Just one of them from the back of the room. Every time he did it. He'd get conscious soon eventually, wouldn't it? He'd be like, we're banning you, why?
The best thing is when he's just won 6-0 in the FA Cup final, to start asking him about irregular payments. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. I've got time for that.
I've got lots of time for that. Well done, whoever that journalist was.
I don't think you'd be invited back, like, but...
I'm not having this. I don't care how many goals you just scored in the FA Cup final. I don't care you've just done domestic treble. Tell me about these payments. That was absolute class.
Anyway, Pep, I'd like to ask you about the time that you had an irregular urine sample while you was playing in Italy for Brescia, and you blamed it on your doctor of the time, I believe. Now, I don't know about you, Pep, but if I'd ever had an irregular urine test which found illegal substances in my piss, probably wouldn't hire that doctor when I went to Barcelona. Can you give us any comments on that, please?
Also, while we're at it, I mean, I'm a little bit confused here, Pep, because you wear ribbons about human rights, and it doesn't seem to be quite in fitting with the city owners.
No one's asking that one. So Dr. Fuentes oversaw the Spanish drug doping thing. If you've not seen Icarus, I recommend you go watch it. I should be on royalties for that film, but no, I'm not at the moment. If you've not understood what... maybe go and look at the Dr. Fuentes doping scandal. Maybe just enter that into Google and maybe do your own research on this. But I'm going to put it to you that Spain won European and World Cups, and Real Madrid and Barcelona had a ridiculous high output of footballers. And they actually found a notepad which mentioned Barcelona and Real Madrid and Spanish footballers in it. In court, this was all brought up. And the judge asked for the evidence to be destroyed. Spanish court, by the way.
That seems perfectly legitimate. I know. I used to be a court reporter before I was there. I know I've done a lot of reporting, but I used to be a court reporter, and I remember many a time in a trial where the judge had automatically ordered the evidence to be destroyed.
Yeah, because it had incriminated further people who broke the law.
Yeah, and that's not what justice
and I'll
is
also
about.
put it to you, during this time that Pep oversaw Barcelona, and Barcelona players was a massive part of the Spanish team, winning 3 back-to-back international titles. And Dr. Fuentes is on record saying, I think those titles would have to be given back if the truth ever came out. Now, Real Sociedad, you know that world power?
Yes.
They was the only team that ever come forward
growing up.
and said, yeah, it was pissing hot as fuck. I don't know if that was their exact words, but words.
Wouldn't it be amazing if you went, you know what, there was a massive doping scandal, you're right, and the 2009 and 2011 Champions Leagues have to be given to the runners-up.
Just the runners-up. I don't know. Who was that? I don't know who that was. I'll have to go Google and find out who that was.
That'll be fair, you know what I mean? We went from 3 to 5 in the space of an hour. That'd be great, yes. Let's have a bit of that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll probably take that. I mean, as compensation for the fact that maybe they've cheated their way all the way through these, and maybe there was a scandal and a history of that, because one of the reasons Pep Guardiola fell out with Bayern Munich was also because of his insistence on using doctors in Barcelona, which doctors in Barcelona have been accused of doping their players and stuff like that. But it's totally irrelevant. It's not a story.
I can understand that, because if you're at Bayern Munich, because yes, the Germans are renowned for their inefficiency.
Substandard doctors.
Yeah. I think, why would you trust...
Manchester City have also built a £480 million training facility in the heart of Manchester, which is doing fantastic things for the regeneration of Clayton. And for that reason, they also send their players back to Barcelona, who come back. He's out for 3 months. Don't even take him out your fantasy team.
You know what they should do with that £480 million medical facility? Put some doctors in it.
From Espanyol.
Because obviously isn't any there, because they have to keep flying over to Spain.
Do you know what I thought? I know what it is. It's a Sia.
Good bit of Sia.
Yeah.
Good bit of
no
tapas.
longer got a torn hamstring.
Yeah, this is... it's a miracle.
Just like, I rubbed a bit of like sand on it. Perfecto.
Sorted.
Which is Spanish for perfect.
So you can get everything on this. I was going to say this podcast is not as a preview, innit?
No, it's definitely a preview for the Bournemouth game. Anyway, what do you know about Bournemouth? I come up with a belter of a name for the little Southampton Bournemouth derby. The old dear.
Yes. Yeah, because like they are those sort of play. Funnily enough, yeah, some of my missus' family live in Southampton. Yeah, Bournemouth. I've got a bit of a just irrational dislike of Bournemouth. Because they're just punching above the weight, aren't they? People, they're not plucky. Is this all thing plucky little Bournemouth? No, they're not. They spend lots of money.
You said they spent 130 million in the summer?
Something like that. I think it was last summer they spent upwards of 100 million. And they've got like a 15,000 capacity stadium, whatever it is. They're like a big League One club. They've just got massive investment. And they've got this sort of investment where you can get signings wrong. Everyone goes on about Eddie Howe, he's this genius. He's not. He's a good manager, granted, but he can make signings for 20, 25 mil. Get them wrong and make more signings.
They spent a right load of dough on, was it Solanke and Hyde they paid like 50
what I mean.
million for?
Liverpool just like, oh, we've got someone here who's played like 4 games from us, he's really good, do you want to buy him? Yeah, he's like 20 million, yeah, great, you can have him.
He was like, how much do you want from him? We'll give you 20 million. He was like, okay.
We want 2 million, here's 20, right, done.
Yeah, it's great negotiation.
Yeah, so, like, yes, you can respect the fact that they are a small club and they're sort of in the Premier League as Premier League regulars, but it's not a fairy tale, is it? It's rich owner, not as rich as City's or you know, Chelsea's or whatever, but rich owner gives small club lots of money and they spend it relatively well. That's the Bournemouth FC film, isn't it? So
loads of grey hair.
Yeah.
In the area. Retirement homes all over the gaff.
It's all about that. But yeah, we know they've got Josh King, good player.
Callum Wilson's doing all right. Harry Wilson's doing all right for him. They got a new Spanish kid, I think, at left. I'm not sure if it's a kid. He looks decent. Aside from that, just a bit meh, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
They do play nice football. They do keep it on the deck, and I do think that's because they sort of line up a little bit like a big team.
Yeah,
I think that probably plays into our hands a little bit.
We've seen it, haven't we, the last few games. I think because Norwich sort of went for it, not like all out attacking football, but they didn't shut up shop. They opened up a little bit, and I think
they try to park the bus. I think they're just really shit.
Yeah, and I think obviously when we got early goals as well, it's like right, that's gone out the window. We've got to go at it now, and I think let's face fact, the days of clubs or teams, going 2 goals behind United and shutting up shop to try and keep the deficit low are long gone.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
Do you know what? I didn't watch the Southampton-Leicester game on Friday. I saw the goal alerts coming in on my phone on live score, and I was like, fucking hell, what's going on here? Did Southampton at any point try and be like, close ranks? Or was they still trying to play?
That's just crying out for like Yolanda Herrera types to just come on and just waste some time, to just get the ball, to throw himself on the floor, just to take the sting out of the game.
Argue with the ref.
Argue with the ref,
boy.
boot the ball out of the stadium, just do something just to kill the game off a little bit.
Walk in, stamp on the ball, need the ball.
Yeah, just something. Yeah,
the clock's still going.
Yeah,
all right, okay.
Yeah. Hold his face for no reason and fall on the floor holding his head like he's been headbutted when he hasn't.
9-0 at home. People have lost 9-0 away, which I guess doesn't really make it better, but losing 9-0 at home.
Oh, that's what I mean. It's like, I know they got obviously that 10 men early doors with Bertrand going off, which I thought was a little bit harsh, from being honest. I think when you slow it down, it's a bit harsh. But still, come on. Bit of in-game management, people. What is going on there? Just do something.
Came out, didn't he, and he said, I take full responsibility for this. And you're like, really? Like, there's no fucking mirrors in your changing room.
I'm sure he must have had a different story in the changing room, because you would go berserk, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? If you're playing, you're coaching under 11s and lose 9-0, you're going to absolutely annihilate him. If you're playing coaching Premier League, allegedly,
Jesus,
yeah, sorry,
that case hasn't finished yet.
Yeah. But if you're coaching a Premier League team at home, and let's face facts, right? Leicester are a very good team, but they're not.
They're not dicking people 9-0 on a regular.
No,
they shouldn't be.
No, they're not like City or Liverpool. It pains me to use those as the example, but let's face facts.
Or vintage Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not. They're not. They're just like they're probably in and around the top 4. So to get absolutely battered in that way, and it pains me.
What do you do when you walk into the dressing room as the manager for that? I don't know if I'm laughing my bollocks off at how bad the situation is, or if I'm just going to volley the first person I see.
I think you go Brian Clough on Roy Keane style and just punch him. You see that story? He gave the ball and he just walks in the changing room and just
fucking one-handed him.
Just one-handed him. And Keano says that, I deserved it. Can you imagine that now? It's like, you'd have lawyers and all sorts and that'd be the end of it. But yeah, I think you just...
Someone giving a statement saying that you're going for counselling.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Do one. But yeah, you've got to go berserk, haven't you?
So it's, Mr. Manager, apparently you volleyed your goalkeeper in the bollocks, like, lost 9-0.
Lost, yeah. Oh, right, case dismissed, destroy the evidence. Yeah, it's one of them, mate, innit? It's like...
And I volleyed him twice, but he was fucking down crying.
It's like, do you know, yeah. It's like when I hate to bring it up, but when we got done 6-1, like, the reason that happened was because it was late, I know.
When we got done 6-1, how many shots did City have?
That's what, no, the point is, it was that...
Tell me!
7.
7.
Yeah.
How many did we have? 6!
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It was that last 3 minutes that did us.
Yeah.
That was it.
We twisted and blew our wad.
Yeah. It's the only time we should have brought Phil Jones on.
So when something like, go behind, it's Fergie, let's go for it. And Fergie went, lads, have at it. And City went, sweet.
I know. What's going on here?
And every shot they went in, we went, oh, fuck.
I remember thinking we were going to draw when, was it Fletcher got the goal?
Pinger.
I know, I thought, this is it now. It's going to be 3-3. And,
yeah, no, that's not what happened. That is not what happened. Such as like, anyway, Bournemouth.
Oh, yeah, Bournemouth.
I guess we should do our starting 11. Jay, would you like to give me a starting 11 for this weekend's activity?
For the first time, I think, since me and you have done one of these, I'm going to go with your boy at left back. Yes. I thought you were going to give me a nudge then. You left me hanging like, I was like, yeah.
I've been telling everybody for months.
I know you have. You jumped on the bandwagon, didn't you, a couple of months ago? I love that when that guy said to you, don't even know who he is.
Oh, yeah, for a bit of context, I tweeted a finger and I said, this lad's going to take, I think it's something along the lines of, take Young and Shaw out of the first team for United. And someone was like, don't even know his name, that's why you just put this lad. And I was like, he sent me the video. Like Brandon sent me the video.
Mate, seriously. That's not, similar to the certain sticks to beat Marcus with, that's not the one to beat you with, that you don't know Brandon Williams. So I'm going to go with him at left back. I think I'm going to go with this 5 at the back or 3 at the back. 3-5-2, is it? So De Gea in goal. A back three, I'm going to go with... I don't know, Lindelof might have had a knock against Chelsea. It was we weren't sure, so I'm going to go with Rojo, Maguire, and I'm going to minute. I can't remember who my third one was. At back. No,
Is it Philip Jones?
No, I don't think it was.
Axel, I don't actually know what the situation is with Axel, whether he's fit or not.
In fact, no, I'm talking absolute rubbish. I'm going to go 4-2-1-3. That's what I'm going. Yeah, forgive me. I'm old.
If he pulls out this fucking team.
Right, so it's David De Gea. Oh, God. We always do this. Do you know what? Let me see. Yeah, we've got issues.
You're absolutely not bad.
I didn't know. I'm not looking at your piece of paper. That's what you get for leaving me hanging.
Give us your 11
right,
man. There you go.
What, like, give me it. No, I'm going to make a change. Just,
The fuck does that say?
My writing is shocking.
All right.
I'm like, hang on a minute. You just had to go at me for having the same team as you. Now you're criticising me because I've just randomly put... Oh, no, actually, can I change it? Sorry. There you go.
That's not happening either.
I know it isn't, but...
So go use your team then, Jay.
So I'm going to go with De Gea in goal.
That's a shot.
I know. Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back, controversial, but I'm going to do it. Your boy at Williams at left back, and a centre back pairing of Harry Maguire and my new favourite player, Marcus Rojo. In the midfield, I'm going to go with Fred and McTominay, and then just in front of them, I'm going to go with Angel Gomez, because I've thought that for a long time that he's going to start this game. And on the left, what am I going with? Oh, yeah, there we are. Yeah, on the left, it's Marcus Rashford. In the middle, it's Anthony Martial. And on the right, I tell you what, on the right, we'll go with Chong.
Okay. You got Tony up front, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so the team that I wrote... I'm going with...
The actual team that's probably going to play.
I'm going with De Gea in net, Wan-Bissaka and Williams. Because, like I've actually been saying for months, someone tell me what Shaw or Young does better. I mean, definitely not Young, but there's things that Luke Shaw's pretty good at. Defending one-on-one and that jockeying in the final position, very good at. But the last-ditch tackles that I'm seeing Williams make, I didn't see Shaw put that level of effort in.
I've been very critical of Shaw, and I do feel for him because he got that injury when he was absolutely flying. I thought he did well under Jose to come back from it all because he got a lot of stick publicly off Jose, and he showed
peaks and troughs, though, doesn't he?
He showed great resilience, and I was really impressed with that. But I just don't think he's good enough, and I think we have to start being more brutal about the standard we expect. And it's all right saying Young's not good enough. I get all that, but you can't just say Young's not good enough, so just throwing Shaw in who's also not good enough. No, and I know he got only one player of the year and all that, but he got it on. He got it on a technicality, exactly. So I think we do need to raise the bar. We've done it with our right back, with our centre backs. I'm happy with those. I mean, there's even competition of centre backs when Axel's fully fit.
Damn right there is.
But left back, I just don't.
And wait till Ethan Laird gets a debut because he will put pressure on Wan-Bissaka.
We were talking about it.
It's a lot better going forward.
Is there a case for having three at the back and Wan-Bissaka as a right centre back? That's been mooted by a few people. I don't know because I know what you mean by Ethan Laird. He's top quality. So yeah, I think that Williams, so far, so good. If he's managed in the right way. And I think sometimes, I know this might be slightly contradictory than some statements we've said in the past, when a youngster is flying, let him keep flying. Yeah. Let him fly. And he is. He's loving it. He's getting stuck in. He's playing absolutely brilliantly. He might not necessarily need dropping right now.
There's no issue in terms of the guy's confidence.
Yeah.
When I spoke to a couple of lads and they said they found playing men's football very difficult, Brandon wasn't one of those.
Right, well, there you go.
Brandon was one of those that's always had a very high level of fitness. He's got a great physique. He's strong. He doesn't get out-muscled because in his head, he thinks he's the fucking hardest man on the pitch.
Tell Callum.
Hudson-Odoi is still crying on the fucking floor.
Yeah, and him and the steward that he threw into.
So I've gone with Williams and Wan-Bissaka. What I really like about Williams is I've seen this little fucker play like this from being 15. And you just get with him. He's a very Dennis Irwin level of quality where he'll not probably put in a 10 out of 10, but he certainly won't be putting in any 6 out of 10s either.
No.
And it's just consistency.
Right foot as well,
get. Yeah.
So mention Dennis Irwin and all.
And someone's like, why would you want to play a right-footed left back? What, like Dennis Irwin? Shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
He's very consistent, and the one major criticism of Luke Shaw I have is He's not very consistent.
No, he's not.
And in the defence, you need people that are consistent. Wan-Bissaka, I think we all know what we get out of Wan-Bissaka. Teams will not go down our right-hand side no more because they're like, he's just going to tackle them.
Yeah.
So they're going to try and look at the left-hand side. And then they're going to meet this fucking crazy little arsehole who will hit you.
We've all of a sudden, we've got to seem like toughness back, haven't we?
Bingo.
We've got players that get stuck in all of a sudden.
A
few weeks ago, we didn't seem to have it.
A 19-year-old,
Yeah.
21-year-old.
It's like we've got like a load of nutters in there.
Well, I'm playing Rojo next to him because I think if you want to come and fucking tango and you get in between Rojo and Williams, it's not going to be a good knife.
Isn't it mad that if you're looking at that now, in some sort of perverse way, you're almost looking at as the £80 million defender might be the way. The weak spot almost. Do you know what I mean?
He's had a couple of
I'm not
errors,
saying he's a bad player. Cause that's
I think he's a great actual leader
Yeah.
for that team of ragtag nutfuckers.
Yeah, because you need someone in there who's not mentally ill.
Because Wan-Bissaka is a crank as well.
Yeah.
In the nicest possible way.
No, he
the
is.
guy is a crank. Like
Yeah.
the way he tackles, that's a crazy person.
He's got that ability, hasn't he, as well, to just get away with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, other players may think, I'm never going to make that tackle. I'm never going to get to that player. But you think, actually, yeah, I can make that.
Paul Scholes in his head thinks he can tackle like Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah. Even now, Paul Scholes probably still thinks that. But yeah, Wan-Bissaka can make those 70-yard runs and win the ball back.
Unreal.
He's great.
I'm going 4-2-3-1, and I'm going with McTominay and Fred. Fred has played his best 2 games back-to-back in the United shirt, and I wonder if it's because he knows Pogba's not taking his spot. And he knows I can make a mistake. I'm here next week.
I love as well that Fred and McTominay both got a mouth, haven't they? They're not afraid to...
And ears and nose.
Yes. But no, they're not afraid to shout about and dish out orders and get rally the
McTominay,
troops.
92nd minute last night, I couldn't see who was bollocking. I think it was Ashley Young, which I love. I was screaming at him to get in position and like losing his shit with him. And I love that.
That's what you need.
I love that attitude. I've been critical of how basic he keeps it, but at times... you really do need someone who's doing the basic. Because my criticism of Pereira is motherfucker thinks he's playing FIFA all the time and wants to score a worldie. That's all he wants to do. Whereas McTominay keeps it simple. So
he's another one though, isn't he? Pereira who gets stuck in. You've got players here now.
He does get stuck in.
Fred, McTominay and Pereira get stuck in.
Yeah, they do.
And we've already mentioned the defenders there. You've got players who will have it.
And Rashford will.
Rashford will. Yeah. Van Dijk, Matic.
Jesus, yeah.
See in a bit.
So Pereira, I'm going to play in the 10. Again,
is that his
looking
best
for energy.
position? Because that's a $64,000
Probably more of an attacking midfielder, but I think you play him in a 10, it frees him up to just kind of do a bit more of what he wants with the ball. James on the right, Marcus on the left, and Tony down the middle. The way you beat Bournemouth is very similar to what we saw against Chelsea. Probably not as drastic as like 30% possession, but it'll be similar. And I think even Norwich have more possession than us.
I think definitely the second half, I think.
So let them have the ball. We go compact when we don't have it, and we're fucking them on the break, and we crucify them without it. Score prediction.
Right. I've gone for draws the last few games and we've won.
And now you're going to go for a win.
I'm going to go for 1-0.
Not bad.
I know. There's a reason for this. Yeah. There's a method to my madness.
I'm going to say 2-0 United. I think we get on the score sheet early, and then we turn the screw. And I would be delighted with a 2-0 win.
Yeah.
Delighted with a 2-0 win. Clean sheet, and probably not ruin my fingernails if we manage to score midway through the second half. And it's not killed the game, but it's put a bit of breathing room between us, because what I've noticed recently, and I'll be honest with you, last night, I didn't think we was going to go and win that game from there when they scored. And the most pleasing thing for me is something that I've been critical of Ole on, and I did question whether he had it in him, but last night he proved it emphatically. We're playing 4-2-3-1. Oh, we're playing 3-5-2. We concede. Chelsea are all the momentum, all the drive, everything's going with them. They're starting making substitutions. We've got, let's be honest, fuck all on the bench that's going to change a game. I thought Tony Marshall's not going to up the tempo of a game. He's quality, but he's not a game-changing player. One matter, why do we keep bringing him on? That's what I thought was going to happen. He changes the formation. He takes Lindelof off. He throws Tony Marshall in. We've gone from having 2 players in their half regularly to 4 players in their half, and Chelsea couldn't handle what we did. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets an absolute massive thumbs up and a pat on the back for the game management last night. Not only did we hold on till extra time and go and win it, we won the game minutes later.
No, you're right, because we've been critical of his in-game management. That's probably the biggest criticism I have of Ole. I just think he's got it wrong time and time again. But you spot on, you got it right. And it wasn't an obvious thing where you go, the obvious move here is to take Lindelof and bring Martial. It wasn't. He looked at it, he made the right decision, he got it right. And it's a tough game to go, a tough ground to go to and get a win. And like you mentioned, they had Mason Mount, they had Tammy Abrahams to bring on. These are players that have been flying this season. And, okay, Martial's top quality again, but like he's a certain game that he suits. And
I think he's a better starter.
Yeah, I'd love to see. I was critical of Ole for bringing Martial on against Scousers. I didn't think that made sense to me because I always fancied Marcus against them. I thought he was still causing them problems. But yeah, he got it right, and I think that now the sort of natural progression would be, like you say, is to get that win, that solid win away from home. I know we got Norwich, but there was still sort of a little bit ups and downs, all the missed penalties and all that nonsense. But yeah, because,
and they're really shit.
Yeah, they are. The championship level out in Norwich. Let's not kid
really
ourselves.
Shit.
They're going down. I'm sorry, they are.
Bournemouth still.
That's a result in it.
Look, Bournemouth aren't a top 6 team. They're a bang mid-table team, but this is where we want to see this United team have some steel, some character, and some quality. If we show those things, and I think you show those things by putting in a good performance. I don't think it'll be a dominant performance, but I think you can put in a good clinical performance. Making it 4 wins from 4. I might be tempted to start saying we've turned a corner this season. We make it 5 from 5. Who've we got next week? We've got Partizan on Thursday next week.
Yeah. Is it Brighton got coming up?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Now, if we make it to 6, we do Partizan and we do Brighton as well. Time to fire up the fucking parade bus, I think.
No, I think definitely 21's on
top
his way.
4 parade.
Do you think we can get top 4 quickly?
No.
No. Do you not think, though, that 11 you've picked there, and you throw a Paul Pogba in there at some point as well, is that not a top 4 challenging team?
Not when it's competing on 3 fronts.
Fair comment.
Or 4 fronts.
Yeah, it's a shame, innit, really, we haven't got a squad.
That's going to crumble us at some point because Rashford will probably pick up an injury. Marshall's pretty injury prone. We don't know what James can do with a full season yet. Fred or McTominay picks up an injury. We're in the shit. Defence is probably the only place at the minute where we can actually handle an injury.
You fancy us, though, if that team gets to a cup final of some description and people are fit, you fancy us, wouldn't you?
With Pogba.
Yeah, I think we could go. We've shown we can go up against anyone.
Yeah, I think we've learned. There's a lot of Louis van Gaal about this this team.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's we can be boring as fuck, but we do well against the bigger teams, and I think that was maybe Ollie gets a bit longer than Louis got. Maybe he gets to blood in some more of the youngsters that get it. There's some really interesting studies done in terms of by the time a player gets to the age of like a Matic or something like that, he's had so many coaches and so many training sessions. You can't teach it. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't teach an old fucking centre mid new tricks neither, because he's seen it all and he's done it all, and his own experience overlays whatever you're going to tell him. And right or wrong, their ego won't allow them to learn new things. Whereas a young player that's only ever played academy level, and you go, "This is how we play, son," and he buys in. You've got that little fucker forever.
Yeah.
And that was what the success of a lot of managers find with youth. People go, the youngsters, they're brave, they're this, that, and the other. They will follow the instructions of their manager because that is the first manager they've had. That's the first blueprint they've been given of how to play football. So if you get them young enough and you get your system into them, like the players that play at City now that have come through, the players that City have bought, that have played
what fucking players are you on about? City, Bristol, sir.
The players that City have bought that have had a few years grounding of Guardiola probably couldn't go and play anywhere outside of Barcelona now, because they're not going to be suited to the other systems.
Yeah,
you've seen Sterling doesn't quite match what he does for City for England. You've seen other players that don't quite match what they're doing when they're at City with their national teams. Yeah. And I think the reason for that is very much like Lionel Messi was the perfect foil for that Barcelona team, and he's in an absolute embarrassment of riches in Argentina. Doesn't look any
because people used to dismiss the Argentinian team and go, Argentina is not as good as Barcelona, that's why he can't do it.
Like Dybala and Aguero. And
I'm like, hang on a minute, in terms of an international team, this is absolute quality. Do you know what I mean? Even like Di Maria does the business for him. And it's like, what you're on about is just, like you say, at Barcelona, he had a system and players around him that worked in that system that just helped him to shine.
Yeah, I mean, he's an unbelievable player, maybe the greatest of all time, but there's certain systems and certain things that are in play.
Better than McTominay?
Just a bit.
Mate,
just
come
a bit.
on.
Just a bit. Just on
He's
the goals.
He's not as good at free kicks as Marcus, though, is he? That's proven.
Has
That's
Messi
a
ever?
fact.
Yeah. Has Messi ever hit one that far out?
Messi couldn't even score a penalty against Chelsea in the Champions League. Remember? Hey, Marcus, not only did he score a penalty, he scores a free kick as well. So he's obviously better than Messi.
And he's never won the Premier League.
Yeah. So can he do it on a wet night in Stoke?
No. He's never scored in a Manchester derby.
Exactly. Hey, has he even scored against the Scousers?
No.
Oh, well, there you go then.
No,
So
I don't. He might have done actually.
I don't know, has it?
He's never scored in a United Liverpool game though.
Yeah, well, there you go. Exactly. Hey,
And,
he's never scored against Midtjylland.
And never even played for England.
Messi.
So on that note,
Shit.
Messi, fucking fraud. Righty, that's Jay. I'm Steve. This is Full Time Devils. That's a subscribe button. Smash it like it's a Scouser, and I'll see you in the next one.